What's going on, guys? Wanted to do a quick trade recap on a trade that I took on QQQ today. So coming over to the chart this morning during pre-market, I saw that we had a huge gap down from yesterday's range. So zooming out to a higher time frame, you can see that these purple lines right here are the pre-market high and low. Yesterday's low was right here at this green line, and was yesterday's high. So at this point, my game plan going into this morning was that if we're able to break and hold above this pre-market high, which is this level right here, I would look for longs for this gap fill up until a previous day low. So coming into open, zooming back down to the 5-minute time frame, we did eventually break below pre-market low right here at 940. At this point, I was waiting for a retest. So sometimes I like to split between the 3 and the 5. So coming into the 3-minute, at this point, what I was waiting for was a retest of this pre-market low once we broke below. But as you can see here, after this break, we had a touch of the low of the 15-minute orb, and we did immediately see buyers step in right here, indicated by this wick right here, and price pushed all the way back up until high of day. So at this point, again, the last few candles, I was waiting for a break and retest of new high of day. At this point, we came back down to pre-market low. So at this point, we did break below pre-market low again. I was waiting for a break and retest. I actually did take my first trade here at the confirmation candle of the break and retest of the pre-market low. It wasn't the best setup. I wouldn't really classify this as A+, although everything else did line up. The reason why I don't consider it A+ is because we did have a previous wick fill, as you can see right here, indicating a lot of buyers sitting at this area. I was up pretty decent on this trade, and I did take a new scale out at low of day, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough selling pressure sitting at that level, and price did get pushed back up to above this pre-market low. And then once we start to wick above the pre-market low, I did take my exit and took a loss on that trade. At this point, I stayed patient, waited for a break and retest of the 15-minute orb, and the reason behind that is because I wanted to see us break outside of this chop zone right here. So once we were able to do that, I had to stay pretty patient. As you can see here, we came back, broke below this 30-minute orb as well. I wasn't able to find an A+ entry, so I waited. We did come back, we retested this pre-market low. I liked how there was a lot of rejection at this area, and then once I started to see sellers step back in right here, and that's exactly where I took my position right here. And then I took my first scale out at new low of day, and eventually took majority of my runners out at this 715.88 area. And then at this point, I did take my full exit once we broke above the EMAs, and that was pretty much the lowest we were able to go today. It's been a tough market overall today. We haven't had a lot of direction, a lot of choppiness, especially yesterday. I was able to finally find a trade, but it was almost at 1 p.m. and at that point I take trades if I don't find anything prior to 11:30 a.m. Eastern. So it's been requiring a lot of patience and a lot of reasoning behind the choppy price action. Number one, August is usually traditionally a pretty choppy month in general, at least in my past 4 years of experience. Number two, there isn't a lot of news that's going around, that ongoing war news that has been going on for the past 3-4 months. So that's another reason. Also this week we have FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow at 2 p.m. so market is usually during FOMC weeks, market likes to wait for that news to be digested before finding some sort of direction. So I do expect some sort of choppiness also going into tomorrow, but I like to stay patient the first 15 to 30 minutes, and that has been working out, and we'll apply that same method tomorrow. And luckily I was able to make back a lot of my losses from the second trade. And again, it requires a lot of patience, understanding where to enter, where to exit, what is an A+ setup, and all these things will align eventually to have you as a profitable trader for the long run. So hopefully this helps you out, and looking forward to doing more recaps like this soon.